AGT Live 24/7 presents The World This Week.
Hello there, this is AGT Live 24/7. You are welcome to our special edition of The World This Week on AGT Live 24/7 today on 10th March 2024, Sunday. Signing on now with the top news across the world. First of all, let's check out the latest updates from France. France has officially become the first country in the world to guarantee the right to abortion in its constitution, and President Emmanuel Macron has promised he will not rest until women across Europe have the same protection. The constitutional amendment passed by the French Parliament earlier in this week was sealed with hot works in Paris on 8 March 2024, Friday. Enshrining abortion in the country's constitution, France has become the world's first country to propose. Now, in the wake of presidential election, U.S. Supreme Court to decide on access to abortion pill in major case. French President Macron, coinciding with International Women's Day, said that he would push for the right to terminate a pregnancy to be included in the European Union's Charter of Fundamental Rights. On the contrary, opposing such new law, Neil Data of the European Parliamentary Forum for Sexual and Reproductive Rights said that France could serve as an example for progressive across Europe. But changing the EU Charter, which would require unanimity, may prove difficult. While most of European organizations have legalized abortion, and some countries impose restrictions on women seeking to terminate a pregnancy, and deep divisions over abortion rights remain. Last year, EU member Malta backed down on a bill that would have allowed the termination of pregnancies when the mother's health was at serious risk, and saying instead that abortions would be allowed only when the mother's life is in danger. Like Malta's, Poland's anti-abortion laws are among the most restrictive in Europe. Pregnancies may be terminated there only in case of a threat to the mother's life or health, or in cases of rape. The number of abortions in the country dropped from more than 1,000 in 2020 to 161 in 2022. President Biden on Thursday delivered his third State of the Union, taking a different political tone amid the gridlock in Congress and addressing his predecessor and likely opponent, former President Donald Trump, ahead of what will likely be a nasty rematch between the two this November. While Mr. Biden did not mention Trump by name, he frequently chided "my predecessor," highlighting the unusual race ahead, with two presidents who have pursued vastly different agendas. The president kicked off his speech with a declaration that democracy will be on the ballot in November. He pointed to other unprecedented times for the State of the Union address, comparing this moment to Franklin Roosevelt's speech in January 1941, when Hitler was on the march in Europe. Malaysia's government has said it may authorize a new hunt for the missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 a decade after the plane and all 239 passengers and crew on board disappeared on 8 March 2014. What happened to MH370 after it departed Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, en route to Beijing remains one of aviation's biggest mysteries. Texas-based marine robotics company Ocean Infinity, which tried previously to find the plane, has proposed launching a new search, and Malaysia's transport ministry said it would consider the proposal. What exactly happened that day? MH370 set off from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia for China's capital city on 8 March 2014. 39 minutes after taking off, the aircraft vanished from air traffic control radar displays. The pilot sent a normal sounding radio call as the plane left Malaysian airspace, but he never checked it with Vietnamese air traffic controllers upon entering that country's airspace as he should have done. About 2 minutes after the last radio correspondence, MH370's transponder, a standard piece of equipment on all commercial aircraft that routinely relays a plane's position to air traffic control authorities, turned off, making the jet invisible to a civilian radar systems. Military radar and the satellites show that MH370 then turned around to travel over the Andaman Sea back towards Malaysia and flying for hours before it vanished, possibly when it ran out of fuel. Malaysia's Prime Minister said 17 days after the plane disappeared that based on the satellite data, his government had concluded that the plane crashed down in a remote corner of the Indian Ocean and that there were no survivors. And there were 227 passengers and 12 crew members on board flight MH370, including 3 Americans as well as people from China, Indonesia, Russia and France. When MH370 disappeared, an international search effort involving dozens of ships and aircraft was mobilized to scour the South China Sea and Southern Indian Ocean. Australia, Malaysia and China then conducted a huge underwater search operation, covering around 46,000 square miles with sonar, submarines and aircraft. In July 2015, an airplane fragment later confirmed to be a flapper on from MH370 was found washed ashore on the western Indian Ocean island of Reunion. It was the first hard evidence that the plane had gone down in the area. More debris was later found washed up on the coast of Eastern Africa. But after no more results, all formal search efforts were suspended in 2017. In 2018, Ocean Infinity launched its own hunt for MH370 north of the initial search area as part of no find, no fee deal with Malaysia, but that search was called off after a few months. Ocean Infinity recently suggested it could resume the no find, no fee search for MH370, though Malaysia has said it will only do so if there is credible new evidence of where it might be located. Malaysian Transport Minister Anthony Loke said he was open to being briefed on Ocean Infinity's proposal. And if there is credible new evidence to work with, he said he would seek government approval to resume the search. The latest updates from Middle East and Netanyahu hurting Israel more than helping, Biden says, and warns Rafah invasion is red line. In some of his most pointed criticism of the Israeli Prime Minister, Joe Biden has said Benjamin Netanyahu is hurting Israel more than helping Israel and should pay more attention to the innocent lives being lost in Gaza. In the latest development, US President Joe Biden's comments about the way in which Israel is conducting its war in Gaza carry extra weight. Mr. Biden has warned that Benjamin Netanyahu is hurting Israel more than helping. The American president also said Israel cannot have 30,000 more Palestinians dead as a consequence of pursuing Hamas fighters. So, there's still the fear that regardless of what President Biden said, that Benjamin Netanyahu could still order the Israeli military to conduct an assault in Rafah, but it probably doesn't look that likely in the immediate future. However, it was on 8 March, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said on Friday it was up to Hamas to agree to a ceasefire that would allow more humanitarian aid into Gaza and pave the way for talks on an enduring resolution to the conflict. The Congress Party revealed its first list of candidates for the Lok Sabha elections 2024 with Rahul Gandhi at the forefront. The party expressed its determination to significantly challenge the BJP in the parliamentary contest and signaled its openness to actively pursue alliances, urging potential partners to reciprocate. Rahul Gandhi is set to contest from his current constituency of Wayanad in Kerala among the 39 candidates listed. Congress announced candidates for the 16 seats that it will contest out of 20 as part of the UDF. The sitting 15 MPs, barring Tian Patapan of Thrissur, have been retained in the southern state, which include senior names like Kadikunil Suresh, Shashi Tharoor, K. Muralidharan, who won in 2019 from Badakara, has been shifted to Thrissur, and MLA Shafi Parambil, the minority, will contest from Badakara. Rahul Gandhi, who led the first list of Congress candidates for Lok Sabha elections, announced on Friday as the party declared that it is going into the parliamentary contest to seriously dent BJP and is willing to go out of its way to court allies while urging the latter to reciprocate. The Gandhi Isyan will contest from his present constituency of Wayanad in Kerala. Election Commissioner Arun Goyal has resigned from his post, and the Law Ministry has corroborated that President Draupadi Murmu has accepted Goyal's resignation, effective from Saturday. The reason for his resignation remains undisclosed. Goyal, a retired bureaucrat, served as a 1985 batch IAS officer of the Punjab Cadre. He joined the Election Commission in November 2022. With the retirement of Arup Chandra Pandey in February and Goyal's resignation, the three-member Election Commission is now reduced to only one member, Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar. Under the new law governing the appointment of Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners, a search committee led by the Law Minister and comprising of 2 union secretaries will compile a list of 5 candidates. Last year, the Supreme Court dismissed a petition challenging Goyal's appointment as an election commissioner, and noting that a constitutional bench of the apex court had already addressed the matter. And in cricket, India versus England 5th Test highlights. It goes as it happened, occurred yesterday. That is on Saturday. All right, India versus England. It's always been a somewhat thrilling and somewhat enjoyable. All right, India beat England by an innings and 64 runs in the final test to win the 5-match series 4-1 at the Himachal Pradesh Cricket Association Stadium on Saturday. Having conceded a lead of 259, England were out for 195 in their second innings on day 3 of the contest, and Joe Root made 84 and Johnny Bairstow 39 also got a start, while other England batters simply surrendered before India's formidable spinner top. Off-spinner Ravichandran Ashwin claimed 5 wickets, giving 77 runs in his 100th test for a match, a haul of 9 wickets. It was England's first series defeat under the captaincy of Ben Stokes, and fast bowler James Anderson reached 700 test wickets as England bowled out India for 477, with the hosts taking a first innings lead of 259 in the 5th test on Saturday. Anderson, 41, got Kuldeep Yadav caught behind 430, and off-spinner Shoaib Bashir wrapped up in the innings with a 5 wickets haul early on day 3 in Dharamshala. India resumed on 473, losing 8 wickets in response to England's 218. And the second day ended with Kuldeep Yadav and Jasprit Bumrah displaying their batting potential and holding India's innings for the day. Sarfaraz Khan and debutant Devdutt Padikkal also played well, with crossing half-century after skipper Shubman Gill laid strong foundations with their respective centuries. And skipper Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill both hit centuries as India rammed home the advantage against England to lead by 46 runs at lunch in the 5th test on Friday. And India beat England by an innings and 64 runs in the final test to win the 5-match series 4-1. And Ashwin, of course, is historical now, and 5 wickets, giving 77 runs, was the pick of the bowlers for India. Kuldeep Yadav and Jasprit Bumrah took 2 wickets each, while Ravindra Jadeja got 1. And James Anderson became the first paceman and 3rd bowler overall to take 700 wickets after spinners Muttiah Muralitharan of Sri Lanka 800 wickets history record, and late Australian great Shane won 708 wickets. BCCI Secretary Jay Shah announces a Test cricket incentive scheme, an additional reward structure on top of existing match fee. Right, dear viewers, that much for the timing from our news studio, and thank you all for being with me. Wish you a great time ahead. Bye-bye.